Alright guys, so we're in Canada. We are driving over to Niagara Falls. There's a little bit of snow on the ground. It's probably about 35 degrees. It's beautiful. And that over there is the US. And down at the bottom, which I'm going to walk up there and show you, is the Niagara River, separating Canada from the US. This is a visiting center. It's nice and quiet here today. There's barely anybody here. We got the whole place to ourselves. Man, it is gorgeous here. I got the car running, so I don't want to go too far away from it. These buildings, look at this place. This is a visiting center, botanical garden center, something or other. Laura had to use the restroom, so we just pulled over here at this little wall here, and look at that. Here's the river. Absolutely stunning. Anyway, all along this river, as we were driving up this way, was hydroelectric plants producing power.
Pretty cool, right?
Very cool.
Look at the color of the water.
I know, it's beautiful. So anyway, we're going to keep driving up this road till we get to the falls. I'll do some more filming. Alright guys, we are here at the Niagara Parks Police Department because Lori got arrested for DUI already. We've only been in Canada for 10 minutes. She got drunk and pulled over. There's the culprit. But all shitting aside, right there's the falls. We're going to walk across the street and see them beautiful things. This big strip here is called Niagara Parkway. This is Niagara Parkway, and it runs parallel to the river, and across the river over there is all the falls. And we pulled right over here to the police station because they had paid parking right here. So we're going to cross the street now and check these falls out. There's something you don't see much of in Florida. A gaggle of geese. Ain't getting too close to them. Them little bastards will attack you. Actually a video.
Hey!
So guys, I don't know if you can see, but the huge clouds of mist that this the falls puts off, it's mind-blowing. And I know you can't pick up on the video here the sound. You know, these are about a half a mile away. We're on the other side of the gorge from these. And the sound is just awesome. I wish I could pick it up on camera. I'll try to get a little bit closer and see if we can. Alright guys, so it's hard to tell, man, but this place is fascinating. The gorge, I don't know, the falls themselves are probably 300-400 feet high. I'll show you pictures of some tourists walking around down there, which means that this cloud of mist you see kicking up is going hundreds of feet up over our head, and we're at the top of this thing. So I don't know. It's what do you think, babe?
It's fantastic.
700 feet high of mist from the falls. Pretty awesome. I don't know if you guys can see them people way down there. They're halfway down. They're halfway down. And yeah. The place is awesome. We're gonna come back here. That's the big falls. I got my finger in the picture. That's the big falls. That's the smaller falls, which is ginormous. Well, guys, there he is, the man of the hour. George VI, King of Canada. From 1936 to 1952. A very gallant gentleman. Pretty cool. It's granite. This is Niagara Park Police Station and Administration Building. What a beautiful park, man. I can't get over it. Alright guys, so this is our hotel room. Well, it's a bed and breakfast. This is a very old place. It's called the Woodburn Inn. It's been here, what did it say they built? 1839?
I think it's
Original floors. Oak plank. Bathrooms obviously upgraded from the 1800s. So it's breakfast every morning. Got a little fireplace in here. Queen bed, and then the whole place is open to you. They just mainly give you the keys for it. Yeah, so there it is, 1839. And there's the whole place. Here's the bed and breakfast that we're staying in. It's 7 or 8 rooms in there. You get your own private keys to your own private room. And you know, obviously breakfast every morning. But just cool how old it is. I love this sort of thing. Look at these grounds, man. Beautiful here. What do you think?
It's very pretty.
Beautiful, huh? All right. are in downtown Niagara-on-the-Lake, Ontario, Canada. And it is just a beautiful, quaint little town. It's like something out of a Norman Rockwell painting. It's clean and neat. Everyone's nice. Right?
Right.
No ghetto ass shit up in here.
No, no.
I know. Yeah. Yep. Guys, this is looks like the ocean out there, but it's Lake Ontario. Oh man, I can't say enough for how beautiful this town is. I just can't say enough for how beautiful this town is. I don't know, guys, if you can appreciate the size of this squirrel because it's on camera, but he is about 3 times the size of what we're used to in Florida. He's about the size of a house cat. Let's see if I can get closer to him. Yeah, he's ginormous. It's funny, you got this beautiful park with this beautiful gazebo with snow on top of it. It's about 30 degrees out here. And a constant wind coming right off Lake Ontario, blasting you. Feels nice though. It's good to get a break from the heat. What do you think?
It's beautiful.
Cold, huh?
Reminds me of Michigan.
Cold, right? Yeah, it does remind me a lot of Michigan.
Yeah, it's cold, but it feels good.
It does. We're sitting at Lake Ontario, guys, and this is a plaque of all the swimmers to cross the lake.
32 miles across.
First one was in 1954.
At age 16, Marilyn Bells.
Yep. And then the last one was bottom right corner, Bryce Kroll, September 2022.
39 years old. Hey, they got someone that's 62 years old who did it.
Swimming across the width of this lake. That's kind of nuts. It snowed overnight, so we got a nice blanket of snow on the ground. It's 8 a.m. I just brought up Our little tray of coffee and pastry. Lori's first thing in the morning. We got hot, so we came out here to cool off, and Lori's already throwing snowballs at me. She missed. Got a little snow last night. I don't know, what's the temperature out here right now? About 30? Probably about 30. But we're out here in no jackets because it got so hot in our room.
Oh, so hot.
Alright guys, this is day 2. Just trying to get some exercise. It's 38 degrees. We came out to this little park. It's called Queenston Heights Park. They got a beautiful little walk here, and it's paved. And there's a lot of like Native American monuments here. So when we get to them, I'll get some pictures and video. Beautiful conifers here. These are like Douglas firs and pine trees kind of mixed in. They had some Norfolk Island pines. And it's just peaceful and quiet. And there's really nobody out here. Snow on the ground, melting in some spots because the ground really isn't frozen yet. But just gorgeous. So we're on this nice walk in this beautiful park, and we came across this little outlook point overlooking the Niagara River. And we've passed quite a few monuments on the way. I haven't taken any pictures yet. We're going to get to the end of the walk, and then on the way back I'll film the monuments. Hi, Lori. Anyway, this is one of the monuments. This was a lady that saved her husband during the Battle of, let's see here, Laura Ingersoll Secord.
In the battle on these heights, it says.
In the battle on these heights, who saved her husband's life in the battle on these heights, October 13th, 1812. The War of 1812 was a big deal up here. We're at this big monument at this park. This is the largest monument, and it's Sir Roger Hale Sheaffe. I'll read in a minute exactly what his accomplishments were, but this monument to him is huge. I don't know, it's probably 200-300 feet high, and he's at the way top, guarded by, below him, surrounded by angels, and he's at the peak of this thing. Very impressive. On October 13th, 1812, following Isaac Brock's death in a preceding assault, Major General Sheaffe assumed command and led a successful attack which dislodged an invading American force from Queenston Heights. Born in Boston, Sheaffe was commissioned in the British Army in 1778 and fought in the American Revolution and the Napoleonic Wars. Arriving in Upper Canada in 1812, he served as the administrator of the province, and he returned to England in the latter year. He was created a baronet in 1813, attained the rank of general in 1838, and died in Edinburgh, Scotland. Pretty cool dude. So we're seeing the other side of American history, right? So these guys were protecting this area from coming under American rule. So reading this sign, guys, we've deduced that African Americans, well, we're calling them African Americans, but they weren't back then, African or people of African descent during the War of 1812 were helping Britain because they feared America coming in here and taking over, and Americans had slaves. They didn't have slavery up here. So they fought with the British to try to retake over and keep America out of here because they didn't want slavery to come in here. Pretty interesting. So apparently a lot of Native Americans were fighting with the British and the Canadian militia to keep the Americans from coming in here and taking over. And this is Ayuwe. It's his name. This guy here is Teonin Hokarawen. John Norton and John Brandt were their English names, I guess you could call them. But these guys were Native Americans, or a mix of Native Americans and Canadians, who fought with the British militia to keep the Americans out of here. These are the tribes that joined in this battle: the Mohawk, the Oneida, the Onondaga, the Cayuga, the Seneca, the Tuscarora, and this whole monument, Peace and Reconciliation, August 31st through September 1st of 1815, and this monument is called the Native Allies because these folks joined up with Canada to keep the Americans out of here in the War of 1812. Very cool. I don't know if you could see this, but you would appreciate it. We're in very rural Canada, and there's every 300 feet a fire hydrant. Look over here. Anyway, you never find this shit in America. Every 300 feet of fire hydrant, as far as we can tell, as far as we've driven out here. Pretty amazing. They do everything better up here, Jeff. Build houses, their road system. Look how horrendous this traffic is. It's terrible. All right, we're at Wayne Gretzky's place. It's called the Wayne Gretzky Estates. This is a winery and whiskey distillery. And although he was a great hockey player, we're going to see how he was at making whiskey. Jeffo, being a hockey fan, you guys, Matthew and your family, liking hockey? Oof, what an awesome place. This is Wayne Gretzky's winery, and he grew up in these parts, and This is like a museum to him. All pictures of him with other great sports figures, other great hockey players. Anyway, it's got all his memorabilia here, jerseys, hockey pucks from his different landmarks and goals scored and all that stuff. Just a very awesome place. Beautiful. Number 99. So this is Fort George, and again, during the War of 1812, this was going back and forth between British and American occupation. This fort was built by the British and then taken over by the Americans and then recaptured by the British a couple times over. This right here is one of the parapets. So in each of these slots you see here, they had cannons set up. So a deep moat going up to the wall, right? And then up on the parapets here, they had these slots set up with cannons set up in them to fire on any of the enemies that were trying to come in. Very cool fort, old wooden stockade fence made with posts and logs. So these walls, guys, this is a little sample that you can stand in to see how it was to fight from inside the fort. The walls are about, 8 feet high. I could stand on my tippy toes and maybe get close to touching the top of that stockade, but then they had all these holes cut in them for the guys firing their rifles to be able to aim and shoot through. Just trying to rock them with your hand. I mean, it's solid. I don't know how deep they go into the ground, but it's pretty solid. So these gates, guys, are almost a foot thick, and I just wanted to show you how they're put together. It's several layers of thick wood that they milled out of logs by hand. But on this side, you see the nail heads that they drive through. I mean, there's hundreds of them on the surface of the gate to laminate, to bind together all the laminations of the gate. So those nail heads are pounded in, and then when they pop out on this side, right, the spike end, they bend them down. So you can see how many there are. And here you can see the laminations of wood. There's 1, 2, 3, 4 layers. This sucker's solid. And then you got these giant steel hinges that were made. These giant steel hinges that were made for the gate to swing on. The corner posts for the gate, they're over a foot thick. So, Pop, I was telling you about walnuts and the walnuts we see in the bag when we buy them. Right? It's not how we would think of them, but these are them on the ground. So this giant husk, inside of it is the walnut we're used to seeing, which is here. Anyway, that's that. These things are everywhere. I don't know if you can see them. That's the walnut tree. It's almost, I don't know, tennis ball size. You can see the size of that. Almost a tennis ball size husk. And then when you get in through that, tear that open, the walnut that we're used to seeing in the bag is inside there. Here's one that's kind of split open a little bit. Anyway, the squirrels up here are gigantic. They're like the size of house cats. And you see them running around here, tearing open these outer husks to get to those walnuts in there. Pretty cool. Anyway, that's a big, beautiful walnut tree. That sucker right there, if you were to cut it down and mill the wood out of that thing, you could make some beautiful furniture out of that. We decided to get outdoors and play a little bit of golf because the weather got so nice. It's like 55 degrees right now. It's a short par 3, so I'm trying to hit that green right up there. Right down the middle. You hit it almost as far as I did, just through the carpet. Hey guys, it's last night in Ontario, Canada. I'm just sitting out back here of our Airbnb. It's beautiful out here, man. It's probably, I don't know, 42 degrees, something like that. Maybe even 45. It's not cold. You know, I'm wearing my big jacket, my hat obviously, but even my hands are out with no gloves on. It's not cold. Anyway, it's my last night here. I went down to the local tobacco shop and I bought 2 nice Cuban cigars. These are H. Upton Habanas. They were $16.99 each. So it was a total of about $34 Canadian, which was about $28 US. But it's nice because Canada doesn't have the I don't know what it's called, an embargo or whatever. Canada doesn't block trade with Cuba. So all their cigar shops up here have the nice Cuban cigars. And I'm just sitting out back here. It's quiet, as you can hear. And it's just peaceful. We went up to the local brewery. I had 1 ice cold beer and a couple of samples of some of the other beers they had, so I didn't have much to drink. Had a nice dinner. I had Korean chicken tacos, and Lori had a giant fried chicken sandwich. Southern style, had bread and butter pickles on it, and some, I think they were either habanero or jalapeno peppers. It was a little bit spicy, but yeah, it was good. So anyway, this is my last night here, my last hurrah. I figured I'd sit out here in the nice quiet and enjoy my last Cuban cigar. And now I gotta realize it because I've been talking too much. See ya. Well, guys, we're leaving Canada. This poor Earth is so confused. If you look at it here now, and if you saw how I'm dressed, it's literally 60 degrees. We got here, it was in the 30s, the low 30s, and it was snowing. And we're leaving, all the snow's gone, and it's on the verge of being warm. Totally nuts.
Hi. Let's go.
All right, we're driving back over to the U.S., and I guess we'll make this the end of our vacation. Great little place here, the Woodbourne Inn. Beautiful little property, beautiful town. Niagara on the lake, or as I like to call it, Viagra on the lake. All right, guys, we are back in the United States. We're right across the river from Canada, and we are at Niagara State Park in New York. So we're on the American side now, back on the American side. Thank God those Canadians are so kind and generous. It was starting to piss me off. So we're actually on the falls side this time. I'll get some footage on this side, and then we're gonna eat some lunch and then head over to the airport. Side, and it's a lot more impactful seeing it from here because you're right up on the falls. I think it's a lot more awesome than the Canadian side.
Oh yeah, yeah.
Very windy out here. I don't know if you guys can see these rainbows. Rainbows happen right here in the Lori, look at the rainbow. Rainbows happen right here in the gully. Very cool.